Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danie, your friendly neighborhood DIYer. Woo! And today I am going to take you through an updated tour of my 150-year-old plus farmhouse that I've been working on for over the course of the last year. This video feels like my DIY marathon tour all assembled into one place. So I'm gonna take you through each room, talk about all the updates and the DIYs I've created over the last year in each space to help improve it. And then I want to reveal kind of what's changed about these spaces since you've seen them last. But before I start this grand tour, friends, I wanted to quickly share some exciting announcements for everyone. This is something I've been working on for over 6 months now, so I'm excited to finally share it with you. As of today, we have officially launched the DIY in Progress Patreon, which is gonna play such a huge role on this channel and all of the content that I create moving forward. Honestly, friends, this DIY channel would be nothing without your support each and every week, and honestly, I never know how to thank you guys enough. You have all become such a huge, wonderful part of my life. Your weekly support has just given me the opportunity to wake up and create every single day and challenge myself and express my creativity in a way that not only hopefully entertains you, but hopefully inspires all of you to try something new, get messy, make mistakes, and above all else, just be a curious creative like me. But the thing was, I wanted the chance to build something bigger for all of us. I wanted to build something bigger than this channel, bigger than me just sharing one project with you all a week, because I wanted my creativity and yours to be celebrated and shared in a more intimate and unique way. So I built a Patreon. It's my hope, it is my dream that this Patreon can build our creative futures together. Every week, I do my best to bring you entertainment, to bring you laughs, bring you joy, and inspire creative confidence, because that's what I want for all of you. And by joining this Patreon, you're going to be a big support and a big piece of that. I have such big dreams for this channel, guys, and what it could be if I had the tools and the opportunities to grow my team, grow my ideas, grow my studio space. Have you seen my she shack? Wouldn't it be nice? This is all organized. This Patreon and your support could be the first step in helping me get there. All right, so you're wondering, what does this DIY in Progress Patreon look like? Well, let me tell you. Right now, I am going to be offering 3 tiers as part of my Patreon. The first tier is going to be called Trust the Process, and each member will have early access to all of my videos before they launch. These are going to be ad-free, and you'll have access to more behind-the-scenes content, videos, photos, stories, and extra bits each week. Lots more Kenobi content, that is for sure. The second tier is called Creative Beast. Much like tier 1, you're gonna have access to all of my Saturday uploads, all the behind the scenes social content, and you'll have a chance to watch an exclusive behind the DIY video where I'm gonna deep dive a little bit more into the projects I create. I'm gonna talk about the experiences, things you didn't get to see on camera, the products used. I do try to create short 20 to 25 minute videos, and a lot of that means that a lot gets cut. So hopefully this is going to give you guys way more insight into what it takes to make these videos. And I'm going to be answering any of your questions about the project that'll be left on the Patreon comment page. So you'll be able to go to the Patreon, ask your questions there, and that's where I'll grab them from. The last tier will be called Make It Messy. And again, like tier 1 and 2, you're gonna have access to everything mentioned, but beyond that, you will also be given an invitation to join me once a month in a live stream Creative Beast night. And this is going to be a time that we are all going to dedicate ourselves to being creative for 1 hour. I want you to come ready with pencils, paint, marker, literally any craft of any nature. I don't care what you do as long as you are being creative, and I want you to do it with me. There's going to be a live chat happening where we can communicate. I can answer your questions if you want to follow along on whatever I'm doing. The DIY in Progress team is also going to be joining, so it will be a chance to get some insider info from them if you're looking for it. I don't know why that got weird. It's just gonna be a lot of creative fun and I'm very excited for it. Beyond all this, each Patreon member is going to have access to my DIY in Progress Discord, which is the element I'm basically the most excited about. This Discord is a community platform where I hope creative DIYers like you and me can go to share projects, share ideas, share information. Maybe you're working on a project and you're stumped on something, you need some help. This is a place where we can all share information and just be nerdy with each other. I know I will definitely be using this to ask you guys some questions or weigh in on some project details before they launch on my channel. And I just want this place to be a positive DIY community where we can all share our love of creativity together. We need this. So yeah, I've linked my Patreon in the description box. Click it. Check it out after this video. Explore if you want to join this Patreon. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And if you just want to support by watching my videos every week and giving it a big thumbs up, that's okay too. There's absolutely no pressure. Just creative love, my friends. Just creative love. All right, DIY friends, I've said my bit. Let's get into this home tour. Editor, roll the tape. Boop. So welcome to my front entryway. I figured this is a great place to start when you're doing a home tour. So this was actually the very first space I tackled when I moved into this house. And one thing I ended up doing was the painted floors. I added in these bench seating, which are old tractor seats, and they've been fantastic. The update on the stenciling, it's still there, it still looks good, but you can definitely tell that the paint has started to wear down a little bit. We've cleaned it. It went through a Canadian winter. So, you know, quick solutions, painted it, still looks good, and I'm still happy with it. The one thing I do love the most about this space is the DIY shelf rack that I made. This is out of a oak, which is such a beautiful piece of wood. But on top of that, it is super functional and it just changed everything for this entryway. And it's got these really funky little hooks that look like octopuses. And then they're all hanging out being like, give me your jacket. We have two options once you're in the entryway. You can either head to the studio or head to the kitchen. So let's go to my favorite place, which is the studio. A lot of the times you guys only really see this way, which is where I painted my DIY in Progress backdrop and I have my table. But yeah, behind the scenes, there's not a whole lot to really see because it's just normally a table full of lots of equipment and DIY projects coming up. We also have this rack back here, which holds all of our DIY stuff. We have acquired a lot of stuff and a lot of DIY things that need a place to go. And I think we might be outgrowing this space, but you know, we're still finding unique ways to store everything. And so this room is mostly chaos 5 out of 7 days a week. So, okay, I was lying. It's like chaos 7 out of 7 days a week, but you're seeing it at its best, which is kind of saying a lot. These are actually two IKEA Alex units that were stuffed together, and then I actually built this top piece that sits on top of it for all the papers. Super functional, and it's really lovely. I will link to that video if you want to see how I did it. The best part about this space is how slanted the floors are. So my work table actually has these adjustable elements to it, and this side is a whole peg more than this side. It's not great, but it's the only solution I got right now until we demolish this house, this side of the house, and start over. Franklin, come here. What's going on, little girl? What's going on? What's going on, little friend? Yeah, I know. Other than that, there's just a lot of stuff in this room, a lot of upcoming DIYs. So because this room is eventually going to get demolished, probably within the next 2 years, I haven't really cared a whole lot about the space in general. So, you know, I get to do fun things like drawing on the walls and to make it look like she's holding up this little light switch. That's the joy of a creative space that you don't care about. Two of my favorite DIYs in this space are Topless Tammy. I mean, is she really a DIY? It's hard to say. And then my Pantone epoxy art piece. There are definitely a few mistakes. I definitely learned a lot creating this, but I still love it. I love the color palette. So yeah, it really makes my art room feel colorful and alive in a weird way, even though we're only half there. Okay, let's move on. Come on, Pop. So welcome to the kitchen. This area I probably spend the most time in. I love this space. It's definitely one of my favorite rooms to photograph, but this side of the room has definitely been worked on the most. So when I first tackled my kitchen makeover, the first thing I wanted to do was paint all the walls white, paint the trim sage green, and it really just warmed the whole space up. Bringing a peg rack into that corner just gave me an excuse to have a lot of decor items on display, so that's really what it was about. But it's really convenient to be able to hang things off of. I hang fruit off of it all the time, and like odds and ends that I love that mean something to me. I always knew that a lot of people were going to spend most of their time in this kitchen when they came here. A lot of people gravitate towards this table, which was one of the first things I bought for myself when I moved into this house. I was like, I need a giant table, and this one I found at a Canadian company called EQ3, and I love it. It is one of the best things in this house, one of the best purchases I've ever made. But one of the things that I love is this bench. I love that this table comes with a giant matching bench, and then I threw this faux fur on it. The dogs love this spot. I normally will pull out the bench during the day because if Frankie, sorry, I call her Franklin. But you just love the cozy fur, don't you? Yeah, it's nice. When it comes to the kitchen space, the actual cooking space, a lot of you guys always ask me, where is Jeffrey's place in the house? And this is it. I am not a bad cook, but I don't enjoy cooking the same way that Jeffrey does. So he normally does most of the cooking. So we just called this room like his room. One thing that I really wanted when we moved in here was to get new lights over the island. And I found these copper lights. These are actually off of Wayfair. And it just made such a big difference for this space. Like it's such a focal point. And I love the copper detail. I'm just obsessed with them. One thing that is going to definitely change in this kitchen area is the cabinet color. I'm not gonna reveal it yet because this fall, there's going to be a massive DIY makeover in this entire space, so stay tuned. Over the pandemic, I love a good coffee shop, and I thought how fun would it be to create one of those like kind of coffee shop word boards in your home. So I created this. All these little pieces are magnetized so you can change them up, and friends love it because they can come over and then change the messages on the board. So yeah, it's a really fun piece. It's a fun interactive DIY, and it's a great thing for the kitchen. The other thing I love with the kitchen is my DIY light. This was a really fun piece to create, a very fun video to produce. I don't want a home where you feel like you can't walk in with muddy boots and do a craft on the table. So adding pieces like this kind of unique, weird, deconstructed umbrella light are just a piece of that kind of creative elements that I wanted to build in. Another really fun element that I added into this kitchen is my spoon art. So let me show you. This was part of my contemporary art DIY episode where I wanted to kind of create interesting art pieces that would display through my home. Again, I love a copper detail, so I added these copper backs and then did like an ombre effect with the spoons that were on display. Everyone loves a good ombre, right? Ombre. This is my office space. It is directly off of the kitchen area, and it was so important that this room had a wall that was just like a striking focal point, because when you're sitting in the kitchen, your eye line naturally goes to that wall. All I wanted this room was to feel like an extension off of my kitchen, so there's a lot of elements that are going to naturally flow into this space, like the sage greens, but I wanted each space in this home to feel like it has its own story. So this room definitely tells its own story, and there's so many new elements in this room, so let me talk you through them. I have traded out this piece of art probably about 4 or 5 times. I don't know if I've nailed it yet, but this one actually came from Desenio. I just love the lilies. Of course, you guys remember my star cabinet. This started as like a dark walnut Facebook Market find, and then I painted it black, added some of the gold elements, and then added this cool star detail that's bursting. It just feels magical. It makes me really happy, and it feels like it's an extension of my nerdy side. Kenobi also loves this space. He loves this carpet for some reason. You just love it in here. Yeah. Of course, another really huge element that went into this room was the DIY bookshelves. So these are all Billy bookcases that were built into the wall. I just think it added more personality to the space to have these cathedral tops than just keeping it very like square or doing a very organic arch, which is very popular right now. But you know, I'm trying to push the boundaries of what can be popular. So I went with the cathedral. I don't know why I just went into an accent, but it felt necessary. So let's just go with that. This wallpaper was from a Etsy shop called Ann Wall Decor. What I love about her shop is that you can get any piece as a peel and stick or a wallpaper. So depending on the type of home that you live in, if you're renting and you just want to be able to remove it afterwards, you don't have to get anything permanent. I love little elements like this wallpaper that just felt like it brought this room to life without even trying. So win-win. The plants are doing okay. Also love this chair. This has been like the ultimate reading chair. So this chair, this was from Article, and has probably been one of the best purchases for this office space ever. I think Jess probably spends more time working in this chair than I do. We ended up buying this tray so we could work at this chair. It's been great because this actually, this pivots, it's got a little space for your coffee. Just love it. So I recently added this wind chime. So I recently added this wind chime in here. When I created my DIY wand, I ended up visiting a woman. She was a master healer, and outside of her house, she had these wind chimes that just made the most beautiful sound. And something about that sound just resonated so much with my soul. It's like while you're working, all of a sudden you'll just get like a hit from the chime and you're just like, ah. That's so nice. I found this candle holder from Knowlton and Co. These are friends of mine, Tristan and Lynn Knowlton, and their taste is just... So just wanted to give them a shout out because I ended up buying this piece. I wish I had bought 10 more, but until then, I will showcase this beautiful candle holder. And then of course, I think one of the most notable things in this space was we took down the ceilings, we exposed all of the beams and joists. This room is dope. I love it so much. It is quirky. It's everything that exudes my personality. It definitely is a dream come true to have a space like this that everyone in this house can work out of. And I love these doors. How fun are these doors? And I love closing the doors, and then after you're done working, you just open these doors up and you're like, I'm done for the day. Let me show you. I am done for the day. One element going into the living room that I love was I created this DIY faux beam. There was this giant beam here before that just looked like wall. So adding these boards kind of to cover it up was my solution, and I just love it. I think it works. It works. It works. But yes, welcome to my living room, my cozy, wonderful, modern meets farmhouse living room that I just adore. Obviously, one of the spaces I spend the most time in on my downtime. It did not look like this when we first moved in. There was wallpaper on the wall. It was a dark gray. The ceilings were really low, and my dream for this space was to feel like a space I never want to leave, and for me, I definitely created that. Some of the DIYs that went into this space, obviously ripping down the ceiling, exposing the beautiful joists and the beams. One of my favorite beams is the one that runs along this wall. This is original to the house, which means that beam is as old as Canada, and I just think that's a really special element of the house. One of my favorite DIY dupes went into this space, which was the Vidima console table. I think what I love about this dupe so much was just how well received it was and how many people out there went and recreated this as well. It just brought me a lot of joy to think that my video creating this kind of started a trend that you guys all grasped onto and just nailed. It's so awesome to see that. So this painting is actually an original oil painting from Fred Curry. So if you're from Toronto or familiar with Toronto, there is art stores downtown called Curry's. It was created and built by Fred Curry, and this is actually a Fred Curry original. It definitely feels the vibe of this living room, the color scheme and everything, and I just love the story behind it. All right, so let's talk about the couch. Let me take a seat. So this couch came from Article. It has always been my dream to have a leather couch in my home, a caramel leather couch in my home to be exact. And the one thing I was concerned about having a leather couch was because I own a dog, and he ruin the leather? I can rightfully say that Kenobi sleeps on this couch every single night. He has adopted this as his bed. It's an unfortunate truth, but it is the truth because it is so comfortable. Can you sit, please? I love you. Sit. But this couch has held up. It is doing great, and kind of like a really beautiful leather jacket, you know, when you wear it in and it gets all those beautiful wrinkles and it just wears, it gets better over time. I feel like this couch is exactly that. If you love this couch and you want to purchase it, rotate the pillows because they do start to lose their shape. So highly recommend. Hi, babe. What you doing back there? Okay. The back door. It's very much like tucked away, which is why I wanted this space to have so much attention, because it's one of those like things that when you're going through the house, when your eyes looking through the whole space, you turn the corner, it's like that happy little secret that you weren't expecting. For my partner and I, we don't really use this back door. It's not really a functional space for us, so I kind of had to think about, what do I want to do with this back door area? By creating this floating console table, it allowed me to add some decorative elements, some of my favorite art pieces, but it's mostly Kenobi's corner. We keep a lot of his dog toys in this basket here. We need to call him in at nighttime, so I wanted to find something cool and unique to hold all of his treats. So I found this vintage phone, and it actually had this little drawer at the bottom of it, and I thought this was perfect. It adds personality to the space while also holding his treats. So this little drawer has all of his dog treats, which we can nicely tuck away in there. Of course, a wonderful feature of my house is that we built in a dog door. Actually, I didn't DIY the dog door, the dog DIY'd it. Oh, look at that. Yep. And then the last really cool element to this space was the DIY wallpaper that I created. I painted this. I wanted a pop back here. Going with this green for the wall definitely felt like a gamble, and throughout the entire DIY process, I was second guessing myself the entire time, and it really wasn't until I genuinely finished the whole space where I'm like, yeah, okay, I think I see my vision that I was going for. It definitely breaks up the rest of my home, which is full of a lot of neutral colors. Adding this giant pop of green is something unexpected. Love my little green vintage floral blossom DIY painted wall. Say that 10 times, okay. So if you guys ever watched my stairway makeover, this was a massive undertaking. These stairs originally when we moved in had carpet on them, and there was no railing. It just wasn't great. So I tore up all of the carpet. It was a mess. There was lead paint all over our house, so we had to remove all the lead paint off the stairs, and then I was able to repaint over top of them. I am eventually going to add a beautiful carpet runner. I just haven't found the right one yet, so I'm still on the hunt, and that definitely will happen probably in 2022, so stay tuned. I added this handrail, so I got this oak handrail from the Home Depot, stained it the right color, and it's been a game changer. Believe me, when you're tired at nighttime, what you want is something helping you up the stairs. Another cool element to this stairway is, of course, another art piece that I created. This was a part of my contemporary art DIYs. I created this kind of like rock art that migrates from warm colors up into these neutrals, gave it a wood frame. I love how unique and conversational it is, and it's become one of the coolest art pieces in my house. So big fan. So one of the DIY lights that I created recently on my channel was, of course, this kind of modern looking wall plate. I had mounted this in my living room to show you guys the beauties, but I told you guys I was going to be mounting it here. Well, here it is. It just adds such a beautiful warm glow in this hallway when you're walking up and down at nighttime. It kind of creates a night light. We keep this on at nighttime. I knew it would look good there, and I don't think I was wrong. Let's go into the main bedroom. Ta-da! Welcome to my bedroom, my happy place, my everything place. We have very low ceilings in our entire house, so this was a challenge when it comes to having really nice looking lighting. So we had these like low set LED lights on all of our ceilings, so I decided to hack the light by buying this bowl off of Amazon and used it as a shade to kind of mimic the look of those really expensive bowl lights you see on every high-end decor store. One of the DIY elements I love in this space is my headboard. I got inspired by Lynn and Tristan Knowlton in one of their treehouse designs. Kind of gives it like a rustic feel, a little farmhouse feel, but there's a lot of modern pieces that are mixed into here, so I just love it. There are 2 peg racks in here, one for Jeffrey's side and one for my side. And then I hang some baskets off of it. These baskets are so handy because, you know, we put chargers in here. Oh, another DIY I love in this space is Trilinda. Long story short, she got the name Trilinda, just randomly came to me. All of the branches came from a park that's next door to us. They were already kind of on the out, so I repoed them. I stuck them into some floral foam and then added these beautiful little lights. It adds such a magical kind of enchanted forest feeling, and I'm here for it. So Trilinda, you can stay. One of the best things in this space is definitely the storage closets. There actually used to be a whole closet that was right here. I ripped it out and then put this entire long wardrobe, Pax wardrobe system from IKEA in this space. And what was great, because we kind of like custom created it for this space, and it works. Like, now I have all of my clothes beautifully organized. Jeff has his own closet. I have many more closets, and and I think it just gives this room like a nice little modern touch that makes it feel less rustic and kind of brings it to the now. This is all I want to do in life. just leave me here. This is my side, yeah. There's a lot of really great things about this bedroom, but most of it comes down to just how much it just makes you want to take a nap. The last element in this room I want to show you guys, and this was a DIY, and it wasn't in my room originally when I revealed it to everyone, is the DIY mirror. So I actually created this as a DIY dupe. Hello. I originally had made it for my home, and then it was so big, it didn't fit in anyone's truck. We ended up asking a family member who had an 8-foot truck bed if we could borrow the truck. So we finally got it here, and now it's here. And then come into the hallway, the second duped mirror actually made its way back into my house. It's really great for outfits. So like in the mornings, if it's too dark in the bedroom, out here is great, because you can come out and you can style yourself. You can take your outfits of the day that I don't do, but you could if you wanted to. This is one of the last elements of my home that just got finished. We just put in hardwood flooring on the entire upstairs area. And with that, we got all new trim in the house. We painted this whole upstairs white. It used to be like a dark gray, and it just changed everything. It is so much brighter up here. I love the artist Sam Toft. I think she just kind of captures people and moments in time just so well. It's nice to find art pieces that you love in your home and then show them off. So let's go into the second bedroom. The guest room, this is the second bedroom. It's the second largest bedroom in our house, and I didn't make this room over. Alexandra Gator came in and wanted to experiment a little bit. It was definitely a 50-50 on the internet. A lot of people were worried that it wasn't really my style, and that's not true. Like, I really love the cottagecore element in here. Like, I love how cozy it is. Anyone who stays here feels like they just have a great experience in this room because it feels really warm. It's very inviting. Now, the one thing I did add in this space was a cozy little fireplace. It is a functional heater, but it also just works as like a faux fireplace. It's fun to see the contrast between the main bedroom and this bedroom. It's really fun because it's like a light and dark, and I just love that kind of contrast to each other. I think it's kind of cool. It's a very good conversation point when you bring people into your home. So let's move to the third bedroom. Come into the third bedroom. So this was a more recent makeover for me. I adore this room. Everything I wanted this room to feel is exactly how it feels. I wanted it to kind of exude like a cottagecore English side farmhouse feel. If you can see, like, it's kind of got slanted wall here, and then it's slanted here. So there was a lot of things working against me, and I figured if I put a lot of stuff into this room, it was gonna feel really busy. So we kind of have like a moment in this corner, which I love. I found all of the pieces from an Etsy store called North Prince, and they do these beautiful vintage pieces, and I just adore the entire store. On this side, I did a DIY side table. I thrifted this beautiful little vintage side light with, of course, the florals. And then my grandfather gave me these snowshoes, and I kind of just love that it's unexpected. So yeah, it's a really great piece in this room. And I added this adorable ceiling light from Amazon. It was literally the cheapest thing in the world. I just spray painted it the color that I wanted, but I love this ribbed effect. I just love the design it creates on the ceiling, which I will show you, because look how beautiful this starlight is. Starlight. No starlight, starlight. No starlight, starlight. All right, going into the bathroom. Welcome to my quaint little bathroom. Ta-da. This bathroom definitely was, I keep saying like a labor of love, but it really was a labor of love. When it started, it was lilac purple. It had a different vanity, different lighting. It had different shower. It was just like, it was a completely different space. My ultimate goal in this bathroom was to make it feel like a little B&B. So I added wainscoting to give it like a nice kind of quaint feel, farmhouse vibe, but then also bringing in this beautiful vanity piece into the corner gave this little dipped area some purpose because we were lacking in storage. I also ended up adding this floor rug in here. It was never my first inclination to like throw in kind of like a vintagey looking rug into a bathroom, but in a space like this, it just worked so well. I actually added Scotch Guard to it on top, so it kind of helps repel water and keeps it safe from any damage that would be caused by stepping out of the shower. Let's pull our attention to this side because this was a massive DIY. So in here, I mean, let's excuse the candle that's burning. No, it doesn't burn all the time. I just added a vibe in here. I didn't know what I really wanted for this space yet. So I just gave it a quick update, the tub and tile paint over top of it, and then adding in this DIY industrial shower door was a huge help. A lot of you have been asking, how's it holding up? How do I clean it? I think it's holding up pretty well. I mean, actually better than I expected. It hasn't chipped whatsoever. It's been pretty easy to clean. I mean, there's nothing on this side, so the glass can clean very easily on the shower side. And on this side, I don't scrub too hard on the areas that have been spray painted, but as you can see, like, it's all still there. It's all working for a door that was 10 times cheaper than the actual buy. I'm a big fan. Do I wish I had a bigger door? Because I know a lot of you guys have asked, well, doesn't it leak? Like, doesn't like water get out? Yes and no. When I'm showering, no. When Jeffrey's showering, yes. But the way that we've gotten around this a little bit is we actually just put a towel here and it's been fine. Will I change out this door eventually for something bigger? 100%. No complaints from this guy. So one thing that was a challenge in this house is that there's not a lot of light that gets into the hallway. We added in this door that had frosted windows, so even if the door was closed, you would still get a lot of light through. All right, so we have one more place that I want to check out, so let's go outside. Welcome to my she shack. So there's not a whole lot to say in here other than this is my happy place. This is where I build most of my DIY projects, and this is where I keep all my tools. I put up pegboard on this entire wall, painted this giant colorful mural on it to give it some personality and love. Built in this entire bench top that ran the course of the wall, put in all of my organizational benches underneath. The most recent change to this space is the fact that my wonderful father built in an electrical box so that I can have running power in here. So now I actually have working lights. I can run heat in this space. I can run a fan in this space. One day I will need a bigger space. I will want bigger tools and more things to help me DIY. But for someone who's still growing as I learn how to use tools and learn how to use new things, this space has been everything for me. I need to figure out how to store my wood properly, and that might mean I need a new space to actually store wood, but I'll show you where it's being held right now. Come with me. Here is where I hold all of the excess wood in this little under storage area. It's not a good solution, but it's the only solution I have right now until I solve it this fall. I have a plan and I'm gonna execute it before the winter, so stay tuned. It's gonna be great. Well, we have come full circle. We are back at the front entryway. That is the end of my tour. I hope you guys enjoyed going through all of my spaces, seeing all the DIYs that went into my home, and all the love that I've given it in the last year. I do plan to continue to change it, continue to grow it, and continue to DIY it. So stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed because you don't want to miss out. And make sure you hit up my Patreon. Friends, if you want to support me, go check it out. There are 3 tiers of ways you can support, and I hope you guys join me for my Creative Beast Nights, where it's going to be so much fun. As always, stay positive, stay creative, and keep on DIYing. Now go away, because I'm going home. Get some AC, man.